too much advertisement.
No, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, they pay for it, so I guess.
Yeah, it's nice.
So we could do it free.
Chat house.
Yeah. Oh, the chat house. That's right. We had a chat house.
Yeah. It's nice.
That wasn't a chat house though.
Yeah.
Maharaj, that's chart.
Chart.
Okay, so the food. It's not chatting. Well, you can chat also, I guess.
Prabhuji, Hanumatpresaka Prabhu, you need to wait to turn off a little bit increase the heating.
Yeah. Oh, are you cold? Everybody's old. That's the problem.
Oh, old. When we become old, you don't feel cold.
Really? I don't think that's why we feel cold.
When you are completely young, you don't feel cold. Yeah, I know.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Man's an engineer. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Need a cushion under your feet, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Chant 9 mantras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. I'm going to chant 25, 20, 29, 38 mantras. How many breaths is that? 6 breaths. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Close your left nostril and inhale. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare 6 times better than Tylenol. Pranayama, does it work? So. Prabhupada says these things are good, but I'm not emphasizing them. Like this, so people don't think they're necessary, you know. But yeah, always astrology, hatha yoga, all these things, you know. Devotee, we use all these things.
Essence is Krishna.
Yeah, so yeah. Subhag Swami said Prabhupada would always look at for traveling. He would always take some consideration. Certain times he wouldn't travel. He would look at the Gaudiya Math Panchanga. Yeah. Certain times he wouldn't travel. So he would, it's like we devotees know a little bit of Varnashram. We know enough. Something about it. We know about astrology and stuff. And so then some people become expert as their service. Other people, okay. So some pranayama is good. Yes. Yeah. My goodness. If you do that one of just only breathing in through the right nostril, you begin to, your whole body starts to demand oxygen, and you can feel like myself. You're going to learn to breathe. Not walruses. Walruses, okay, walrus. They go under water like for 20 minutes before they come back up. So how do they do it? Because all the air in the lung is finished. They take the oxygen out of the muscles. Then when they come back on the surface, they re-oxygenate the muscles again, fill them up. Same with yogis too. Because you can feel that when you start like holding your breath, keeping it out, you feel your body's pulling, and then you start to learn. But then you realize, well, I haven't got that much oxygen in my muscles. Okay, and you start learning how to, fill your muscles and become the smartest guy at work, like that. Can marry a beautiful woman, have an expensive house, like that. Okay, yoga. Okay, here. Let's go ahead here. All of our studies are based upon. I am Hanumat Preshak Swami, and this is the Anjana Studio Academy. Where are we? ISKCON Silicon Valley special symposium tonight, okay, entitled "Every Bear Can Dance." Okay, how many bears in the audience? We'll introduce this later on. Here's our latest book called "Every Bear Can Dance." It's a biography of Jambavati Devi Dasi and how she won the Christmas marathon by coughing up blood. Yeah. So we're just about ready to release it. It's incredible. We have an audio book, both. So Upadeshamrita, Srila Prabhupada says, constitutes first instructions for neophyte devotees. So this is the basis. But our education is not that we study something and then forget about it and move on. No, everything expands. So this is the basis of our study. It remains the basis of our study. You'll see that Srila Prabhupada, I haven't done it yet because I'm a fanatic about this. He quotes verse 1, he quotes verse 2, he quotes verse 3, 4, 5. I have a suspicion, if I myself keep on looking for it, we'll find all 11 verses. All 11 verses are in Prabhupada's books with the commentary by Bhakti-vedanta included. But one devotee, Hrishikesh Ananda, he asked Prabhupada if he could actually do a full commentary like that. And Prabhupada said, I'm so busy, we're doing Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, but Hrishikesh Ananda is asking. So finally he says, all right, you come every afternoon and I'll dictate it, like that. So because of him, we have it all in one little book. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's commentary. What's the name of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's commentary? You know his name? The Anuvritti. Yeah. In the second half of every purport, practically speaking, Prabhupada says, in his Anuvritti, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says, in his Anuvritti, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati comments on this verse, And so, Narayan Maharaj, okay, he translated that, published it, so I got a copy. And it appears to be, and actually there are several subtle points and so on that come out when you're actually one mistake comes out. There's one mistake in the book for sure, actually, like that. It says in the 7th canto, I think it's verse number Utsahan Nishchayan Daryat, and Nishchayana, what's it going to be, verse number 3? Right here it says, somebody finds $100 lying in the street, he gives it back to the owner. It says right there. So I have $11. I don't trust people that much. Yeah. Okay. Right before that, where is it? Well, somewhere here it says in verse number 10, in the 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj, or somebody, makes these comments. And I couldn't find it in the 7th canto. Nobody else can find it. But in the Anuvritti, Bhaktisiddhanta quotes the verses that everybody thinks it is from the 10th canto. So that's a mistake. And so what do? You can't change Prabhupada's books. Well, we should put a footnote in, or something like that. Should change it, because actually the verses are actually from the 10th canto, and it's just the context, everything. But somebody made a mistake somewhere like that. So that is Bhaktisiddhanta's commentary. And when he finishes it off, he says that Lord Chaitanya, when he was at Puri, was going more and more deeply into internal ecstasy, like that. And so one time he was walking along the beach, in the nighttime in Jagannath Puri in the evening. And at night is very nice, no? Nice moonlight and talking and chanting. And he went into very esoteric consciousness. Then when he came back to external consciousness, he called all the devotees and said, I will now tell you the essence of this Krishna consciousness. And then that was Upadesha Amrita, which Damodar wrote it down, Rupa Goswami wrote it down. And originally these 11 verses were part of something else. I forgot what it is, Pajavali or something like that. Some other, not Pajavali, but it's the name of it. It's one of, Rupa Goswami's books. And the first part's translated, but not the rest. But then it's a separate thing like that. Yeah. It's our neighbors. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a car next door, Yeah. Wow. If you ask them in a friendly fashion, they'll stop it and they say, hey. So then in his commentary, that's what Bhaktisiddhanta explains. And he says that every devotee should wear this Upadesha Amrita around his neck. So I got my bag here. My neck. It's my book. I'm a sannyasi, so it's like, carry the essence. And when he says without without taking advantage of this Upadesha Amrita, one cannot advance in spiritual life. But it's in Prabhupada's books. You find it quoted here and there, here and there. So in the preface, when he starts, Prabhupada says, this Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. And he says, therefore Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabehama Bujabo Seyugala Piriti. So, as I've gone on like this, studying Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada, I begin to see that Prabhupada's books are seamless. Like there's no space. Everything just fits together so precisely. There's no room for Maya. There's no room for the material world. And then if we look at the links, it's like every single thing everything he quotes in here is essential. It's not like what verse can I quote to support this? No, this is the verse which supports this idea, so this is like a perfect study guide also. If this is a summary of everything. And then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is the complete science, right? It's here somewhere. Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah. Where is it? There? Okay. Nectar of Devotion. Aha. We've challenged your library and your library has failed.
Sometimes things disappear, but they do come back.
Oh, I see. Okay. There she is. Okay. It's about this size, though. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Prabhupada translated as Nectar of Devotion. Right? So this is an introduction, summary, from A to Z. Everything is here. From Gaudiya Vaishnavas to Radhakund. Okay, yeah. From San Jose Gaudiya Vaishnava Temple to Radhakund. And if you follow all the citations, they'll take you to so many incredible things like that. Then the complete science is, yes?
So why the names have been changed? For example, Chaitanya Charitamrita, why it is not called Nectar of Chaitanya's pastimes? Why it is called Nectar of Instruction? It should have been Bhakti-svarupa Damodara.
No, Nectar of Instruction is Upadeshamrita.
Or Bhakti-svarupa Damodara.
No, different book.
The name of the book has been said Nectar of Instruction.
Because the name is Upadeshamrita.
So why we could have called it Upadeshamrita itself?
In Spanish they do that. Yeah.
They do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in English, I guess Prabhupada wanted a name that people could relate to easily. Like that. That was his program. Many things Prabhupada said are okay. He said, you can sit there, you can do 2 hours a day of pranayama. You can do 2 hours of pranayama every day. He said, it's okay. He said, yes, it's good. He said, but how many people can do this? So one thing about Prabhupada was that everybody's welcome, but he was trying to help as many people as he could, as fast as he could. And that we need a mass movement that everybody can adopt, that everybody can follow like that. So everybody can come morning and evening, chant Hare Krishna, take prasadam. But not everybody has 2 hours a day for time for pranayama, Yeah. So we see so the names, English names, like that, And then he says inside, if you open it up here, an authorized English presentation of Sri Rupa Goswami's Sri Upadeshamrita. Okay, for guys like you. Yeah. And then Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the complete science of devotional service. It's a science. One time Prabhupada was giving a lecture in Bombay, I think it is, and 1,000 people there, 1,200 people, old ladies, young ladies, all kinds of people, kids, and adults, business people. So Prabhupada starts going into all these expansions of Krishna, Vaibhava Prakash, Swayam Prakash, Tadatmika, all this complicated stuff, And then there's a public address microphone like this, as I understand, and then there's like the tape recorder, So Prabhupada's, giving all these very technical things, and he says, so don't think that devotional service is just sentiment. It is a science. You must learn all these things. But not right away. Like that. So the tape recorder picked up the but not right away, but the public address thing, was finished. But says, you must learn all these things, and Prabhupada says, but not right away. But he's trying to show them. In India, people think, okay, I know Krishna, this and that. Okay, you do something, but you've also got to learn it scientifically. And different people are on different levels. They have different, different necessities. Who knows more, an ambulance attendant or a doctor? Yeah, but in an emergency situation, the ambulance attendant knows more than the doctor. Yeah, so the doctor will tell him, buddy, just take over. You know what you're doing more than I do. So they're both expert. Yeah. So everybody has to know their position, what they're supposed to do. Some people are supposed to go out and meet people and get them to the temple, and then they expect that somebody else is going to take care of them, like that. And somebody else, they're very good at taking care of people, You kind of fumble when you get out on the street. So what is your position in the Sankirtan movement? Okay. yeah. Yeah, but how? You know, you can't distribute books as there are books. Okay, well, first I'll print the books. And no. So everybody has their particular position, their nature. You know, somebody like Gopi Puranadana. You know, Prabhu, stop writing these books. Just get out on the street and sell them. You know, no, it's wonderful, so nice. You know, complete Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And now because of his work, now the Tattva Sandarbha is going to be out soon. And then what's the devotee's name? I forgot his name. They're continuing now. The devotees who were they moved to Vrindavan, yeah. But they're doing continuing on with the same work now, like translating the other stuff in a very systematic, researched fashion, like that. Yeah. This is what we're talking about, translating to Spanish. So, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibayakuti. Let's look into that. Let's go to the bone. What song is that from? Nope. No. Plus one, minus one.
This is purification.
What song though? Nope. Plus two, minus one. Never your score. Yeah.
We don't sing that often. That's why.
No.
That's right.
That's what he said.
Oh,
It's the parampara of ignorance. Like that. Yeah.
Because we don't sing.
Goranga bolite habe. Yeah. Now, that's one of two songs, basically, that you'll find in all of Prabhupada's books. You can look through all of Prabhupada's books, you'll only find him quoting two songs full, and that's one of them, Goranga bolite. The other one is Narada Muni Bhajayavina, which I was told is Prabhupada's favorite song. Yeah. Okay. Now, where's it from?
Reference in the book.
Yeah, it's in Adi Lila, chapter 7. You can find the whole thing there, why it's there, what it's about. What songbook is it from? Who wrote it? So you got to research these things. Narottam Das Thakur. And which songbook? You can guess on this one, you'll be right. Prarthana. Yeah. I'm fighting with fever and winning. No. Everybody has a suggestion. It's amazing. No, we do it. We're doing okay.
You were okay on Sunday.
Yeah, I know, but it was coming down with a fever in the evening, and Monday hit me hard, and people are dying everywhere from this disease. And yeah, but we're okay though. Yeah. Here, there's something for your house. You should never accept anything blindly. You just do things. I hope it's okay. Yeah. They came from Peru. Yeah. Okay. Prarthana. Okay, and it is, I'll give you something else here, it's the first song in Prarthana, like that. And it's like a summary of the whole book, like that. Wow. So one little citation, it opens up into this whole thing. So now let's sing the song. Why not? We're supposed to start with a song. What page is it on? Go to the first line index. Page 93. Sridhar.
85.
I got 93.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, then it must be something else, not 93.
Yeah, that's something else. I was
85.
85. Okay. Now it's,
Yeah, go around.
you have 0 points, and I have 1 point. This is Lalasmai Prarthana. Again, this is the first song, and it's one of the two songs that Prabhupada quotes in all of his books. Goranga bolite habe pulaka sharier hari hari bolite Nayane babai nira habe Sare Hari Hari Bolite Nai Yane Babinira Araka Benitai Chan Corona Hoibai Sangsara Basana Mor Kabe Tu Chahabai Amora Kabe Tu Chahabai Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shudahabe Man Kabe Amaherabo Shri Brandabanoan Chadiya Kabe Shudahabe Man Kabeya Maherabo Shri Vrindavana Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibeya Kotai Kabeha Mabuja Bose Yugala Piriti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Moran Prarthana Koroje Sada Narottamadan Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Moran Prarthana Koroje Sada Narottamadan Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Shri Sadguru Swami ki. Okay, you there. Who is Narottam Das Thakur?
He's one of the spiritual master.
Okay. Anybody? Where was he born? Was he born in France? Born in Japan? Nadia. Oh yeah. Okay. His father sold banana leaves. No.
He was writing this poem.
Yeah. Okay. Some people say that the works of Shakespeare were written by Ben Jonson. Other people say that other people wrote them because but Mark Twain said the works of Shakespeare were written by Shakespeare or somebody else of that name. Yeah. So what do we know about him? But this biography, his father was like, I don't know what you say, like a count or something like that. Count in charge of San Jose County, like, was it Zamindar? That's kind of big though, maybe a little smaller than that in Nawa, but I think something. Like a count, And so he came from an aristocratic family, and he was a very nice boy, and every day he would go to the school, then he would go by one old Brahmin, very old Brahmin, who lived there, and he was doing all of his puja and everything else, but he was starting to lose his eyesight, so Narottam would help him take care of things. And he would ask him about Lord Chaitanya, because he became very attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, the culture, philosophy. And Lord Chaitanya had already left his body. So then he would go on and take his bath and go home. So one day he didn't come home on time. And the Contessa, there you go, new word for you, Zamindesha, Zamindina, yeah, the Contessa, she was becoming a little worried, where's my boy? So then finally she called her husband, because Prabhupada says whenever a woman wants to get something done, she uses a man to do it. Like that. So she called her husband and said, oh, okay. So he took a couple soldiers and went to the Brahmin's house, and he said, no, he left the same time, This is very disturbing. Please go look at the ghat. So they went there, and now it's starting to get dark, and the last dobiwala is closing up, and almost a few dogs there, and one crazy street boy dancing, and then finally the Rani realizes this crazy street boy is Narottam. And it's nuts, So they grab him and take him home, and he's just, this and that. So finally he said he was just taking his bath with everybody else. Then he saw this beautiful golden Brahmin boy chanting Hari, 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 and he just became crazy like that. So the story is that when Lord Chaitanya was passing by there many years before, he was sitting across the river and was thinking, and he started saying, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. So he called him to come. In Gauranga Lila, he's Narottam Das Thakur. In Krishna Lila, he is? I don't know also. But he's a Manjari. And probably in Lalita's group, since we're all in Lalita's group, who's the principal Manjari helping Lalita Saki? Rupa Manjari. And then Rati Manjari is? Yeah, so then... So Lord Chaitanya figured he needed a little more help here, so he was calling somebody. So then, and he gave this treasure. Yeah.
Also, I heard about Narottam.
Ah, okay.
The Thakur there is a pond in their village, and it was predicted that a greatly saintly person, when he will take bath, the pond water will turn into milk.
Oh.
And I think Narottam Das Thakur was passing by.
Yeah.
And he took bath, and automatically the entire the pond become like the
milk.
So then they started knowing that he is the great saint.
Not an ordinary person.
Yeah, Mahaprabhu has predicted when he was traveling on that road, the saint will come and he will write bhajans for me or something.
Okay. So different biographies collected. So from that point he became inconsolate. He couldn't be consoled. He wanted to go and see Lord Chaitanya. He was running away from home. They catch him, bring him back. He was just absorbed in chanting. The Muslim overseer came, whatever it was, the duke, to see him, everybody. And finally he escaped. And was a little boy still. So he made his way to Vrindavan. And Lord Chaitanya had already left. Advaitacharya had already left. Nityananda had left. But Rupa and Sanatan were still there. And I think they were still there, yeah. So he was very happy, this is there. And then finally he was very attracted to... No? Close. Huh? Yeah, Lokanath. Yeah. And so then there's the whole story. He wanted to become his disciple, but Lokanath was in this mood of being, lower than the worm stool, more simple than Jagai and Madai. And so you're just trying to flatter me, So he rejected him, and so then Narottam was cleaning up where he was evacuating and putting flowers there, and Lokanath became suspicious because he didn't think he was that advanced that his, stool and excrement were turning into flowers. So, it's like, So finally he caught him and was chasing him around. And all the Goswamis were laughing at all this, So finally they came to Lokanath and said, look, you're a lazy fellow, What are you guys? We're working hard, taking all these disciples, training them, and you're just sitting around doing nothing all day, So they pushed him, joking with him. So he said, all right, I'll take this boy as my first disciple. Come here. He came in, He said, you're my first disciple. You're my second disciple, and you're my last disciple. Now, get out of here, come back tomorrow, and I'll start giving you some lessons about what I know. So his guru, his Diksha guru, is Lokanath. But Lokanath and Krishnadas Kaviraj were very intimate friends. And so in the Parampara you see Krishnadas Kaviraj, Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj, Narottam Das Thakur. And that's how the Parampara passes. It passes from Acharya to Acharya. So then, he was advancing. Yeah.
Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he heard it from Raghunath Das Goswami. Yeah. So he was trained by Lokanath, Krishnadas Kaviraj, by the community, And eventually, of course, people are leaving, and so there's songs of separation in here too. Was it Ye Anilo Premadana, which is like you. So if you know who he is and everything else, these songs have much more meaning. We have to do this. We have to know everybody in the parampara, back to Krishna. And it'll happen. We'll get a personal connection with each one of them, like that, Prabhupada, this and that. So we know them, Yeah. So he was, he had many experiences. He would go back and forth between the material and spiritual world. One time he was chanting his japa, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Kitty, 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 Kitty. No, it's Hare Krishna. And he was, absorbed in his internal consciousness as a little girl, Manjari. How old are the Manjaris? 35 years old? 18? Yeah, maybe about 5 years old, up to about maybe like 10 years old, 12 years old. It's in that range, And the Sakis are about maybe like, 11, 12, up to about 16. I think Radharani's Nitya Kishori age is 15 years old, which means Lalita's big girl, she's 16. Like that, she's 1 year older. She's, the boss, like that, She's experienced in love, all this kind of stuff. Okay. So now these Manjaris. So a very nice day. Somehow or other, Radha and Krishna were able to sneak off together and have a playing in the forest. And it was so much fun. And then the other gopis had arranged like a nice lunch, and there were nice hot puris. Everybody's very hungry after swimming and playing. So Narottam, in his internal form, didn't want the puris to be cold. So she's taking them directly from being cooked and running them right to the plates and dropping them off, steaming hot. But she is just a little girl, so the hands are very delicate. And so carrying these puris, you start to get blisters. But she didn't care. But then he came back to external consciousness, and he had blisters on his hands. So he was trying to hide them all day. But people figured out. So this is an acharya. Jai Guru Dev. Okay, yes, we're talking about different levels of Guru Dev with the big A, like Hanumat Preshak Swami and ISKCON Acharya, the little A. I got 9 point by Shishika's got 12 points, like they're 14 point, like that. I get the little A. Someone's got bigger A, But the capital A, that's for the the Sampradaya Acharyas. Before, when Prabhupada left, everybody had to be a Sampradaya Acharya. That was we were trying to figure out what's going on like that. And some people imitated and they had a lot of problems, But as we learned and survived, So even about maybe 3 years ago, I asked Jayapataka Maharaj about this in Lima specifically, because before everybody, he also was like, a big Acharya. He said, do you have to have a big A to be an ISKCON Acharya Guru? He said, no. That's up to Krishna. So, Narottam was like that. He was coming from the spiritual world. He was going back and forth to the spiritual world. And all these songs, many of these songs, what's another one? Radha Krishna Pranamore. Yeah, but you can see this is like a 6-year-old girl, a 7-year-old girl, singing in that mood. Radha and Krishna are my life and soul. I don't care what anybody says. I'll die before I lose faith in them. I don't care what anybody says about what they're doing. So you can see the internal consciousness in the songs like that. So finally, everybody's leaving, right? Rupa and Raghunath left. Jiva Goswami left, and he was having a hard time. He's a Manjari, very hard time carrying on. And he was able to carry on because he had one friend whose name was? Huh?
Whose friend?
Yeah, Narottam. They were associates, yeah. Ramachandra. No. Chakravarti. Yeah. Because he says Ramachandra Mage in one of the songs like that. That was his friend. And with him he was able to talk about Krishna, keep the consciousness, and hang around as the Acharya. And so finally, when Ramachandra left his body, none of the disciples would tell him. Because they knew that's it. He's been hanging in here after Rupa and Raghunath have gone, everybody else, but now this Ramachandra's going to forget it. So after a few days, he figured it out. Then he went to the river and was offering some water, whatever. So and then the story is his body just turned to milk and melted into the water. So there's no samadhi for his body because he didn't leave a body like that. So it is.
That's how Narottam Das Thakur disappeared from
Yeah. Yeah, while offering prayers and crying in separation from Ramachandra, everybody else, he just merged into the Ganga. His body just melted. So there's a samadhi for him in Radha Gokulananda temple, but there's nothing there. So it was a Pushpa samadhi or something like that. Okay, let's look at the translation then here. Gauranga, we're studying this because it's the song probably uses to introduce Nectar of Instruction. Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sarir, page 85. What does that mean? Anybody here Bengali? What does that mean back there?
It means that when you are saying Gauranga, you get happiness.
Pulaka.
Pulaka. So
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Yeah.
Okay, I'll help you. I'll help you with your language.
Yeah.
I'll help you with your language.
Yeah, exactly. So you are kind of shivering with that. Yeah, goosebumps would be the right word.
So first thing means when I say Gauranga Bolite Habe means when will it be?
Yeah.
When will it be? Gauranga, because the word we'll see again and again. This is all in a hankering mood. So many songs are in this mood of hankering. What's that called? It's called Lalazmai, no? Yeah. Lalazmai means this feeling of hankering for something. When will it happen? That when I say Gauranga, I'll have goosebumps. Yeah. Okay, and then when I say Hari, Hari, what'll happen? No,
from your eyes, tears will come out from your eyes.
Yeah.
Neither is tears. So
And
Nayan is the eyes.
Nayane means of the eyes.
Yeah.
Nayane Haribo Sada.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
This is Bohi, so it's like the tears are coming down.
Yes.
From your eyes.
Okay. So he starts off like that. When will it happen? When I say Gauranga, I'll have shivering. And when I say Hari, I'll have tears coming. And Prabhupada says, well, this is the goal. We should want this. We should know this is the goal, but we shouldn't artificially imitate it so much. Raganuga, we can...
it should come naturally.
Yeah, but Raganuga, we can try and... Prabhupada says we should learn the little art of crying for Krishna. So in Raganuga, we're trying to feel the right thing. We can do that. We can imitate. Okay, so do it. But do it, within proportion. Sahaja, they do it because they want to cheat. Raganuga Bhakta does it just to enhance his service. In a certain mood, feeling something, chanting like that, And that stimulates the real Baba. Okay, that's how he starts it off. And again, this is the first song in the whole songbook. It introduces, what's it called? Prarthana. Arakabe Nitai Chan Koruna Hoibe. So when will Lord Nityananda be merciful to me? Okay, we got Gauranga.
Yeah.
But actually to get Gauranga you have to go through
Nityananda.
Yeah, otherwise you're a thief. And then Sangsara Vasana is a whole 2-week class, and there's 2 words. Yeah.
Yeah, no lust for or attachment. Bashana is like lust for the world or earth. So like
it's a big
family,
sense.
material attraction.
It's a big Sanskrit word.
Right.
Yeah. If you start getting to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and everything else, our different activities, they produce different reactions, right? In us. And these are called vasanas. Vasanas. So some of them are devotional vasanas. And that's why we're attracted. Because we have this resonance built in this scar, this cut, this thing, perspective. And so now he's talking about the samsara vasanas.
So those are desires for the worldly things.
The attachments, the inclinations, the things you can't get free from even though you try. If samsara vasana mora, mind, kabe, when, tucha.
Tucha is will be very small.
Insignificant. You're good as a translator, but if you got a day job, keep it. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we see. It's a progression. We get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and then we're looking for more mercy. Then we approach Nityananda, and Nityananda's mercy is that we become detached from smoking, drinking, ladies' fashion magazines, football, babies, cousins, gossip, all these things, wonderful things in life. But it keeps on going. Vishaya chariya kabe shuddha habe man. Chariya, what is chariya?
Chariya means to leave that. When
Okay.
would I leave?
Okay.
The Vishaya is worldly things.
Material enjoyment.
When would my mind would be shuddha, is pure.
Pure. Yeah.
And then Kabe Hama Heribo Sri Vrindavan. So when will I be able to see Vrindavan?
Or then I'll be able to see Vrindavan.
Right.
So the mercy of Lord Nityananda for Guru is that first we lose our attachment for all these material things, happiness, family, all these things, and then we also lose our attachment for the desires. The desires themselves go away. Okay, I can stop smoking, but I still have this tendency to want to take a cigarette and solve my problems, like that. But then later on, by His mercy, even the desires go away. And that point, you can see Vrindavan. How many people here have been to Vrindavan Dham? How many people here have seen Vrindavan Dham? Even for a moment. For one moment.
Have experience, but you get out of it so fast.
Yeah, it's okay, but you saw. I know. No, you see the things. I'm not hallucinating. Everything else. It's just, but you're not. We're still attached. The samsara vasanas are still there. We have to build up enough bhakti vasanas. And then, it's explained more details. It's explained in Nectar of Devotion that those that are stimulated on the level of bhava bhakti, it's like if I try to start a fire, what do? You take some paper, crumple it up, leave it loose, put some smaller sticks on top of that, put some bigger sticks on that, okay? Then take your match and put it in here, another match here, another match here, okay? Now, when it starts to go like that, and the wood starts to catch, you don't put any more matches on, right? People think you're an idiot. Like that. No. Now we've gone from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti to Bhava Bhakti. There's a real fire going now with real wood. But you don't want too much air. You don't want too little, right? You don't want too big wood. You don't want too little, to grow. That's Bhava Bhakti. It's the immature stage of prema. You got some real sentiments. They're not imitation. It's not Raganuga. You're not just practicing Vaidhi. You got your real sentiments are there. But then you've seen Vrindavan. But like that. So many people, devotees, you go there, you have these experiences. Just, it's wow, okay, it exists. I know it exists. But if I'm going to live on that level, I have to be walking around in a body on fire. People just look at you. They just look at you work and say, "Oh my God." What is that? No, people saw Prabhupada would like that. Many people just say, "Oh my God, who is that person?" I mean literally, it was just the name of God would come to their lips automatically. So many things like that. One reporter came when Prabhupada was there in San Francisco. We had prasadam for the reporters afterwards when he came in Berkeley. And one guy was a really big guy, very robust. So we're giving him prasadam, and I heard the guy, he said, "My God, this food is good." Like that. He said, so the name of God was, why? Because he had this bhakti vasana. He had some kind of, maybe even he asked to cover the story. I had a story in Swamiji A.C. Can I do it? Yeah, okay, you can do it, So we're attracted. And when you have enough vasanas, and you're well enough situated in this life, then these different vibhavas, the form of Krishna, the Krishna's songs, these things, they stimulate these vasanas. And they start to become stronger like that. And you start to go mad like that. And at a certain point you tell everybody, that's it, sorry. Bhakti-vedanta Thakur made this declaration. He said, he was, I've had a taste of what Rupa and Sanatana were tasting. And so now, asaktis, I'm attached, I'm addicted. So he said, don't trust Bhakti-vedanta Thakur anymore. He said, Bhakti-vedanta Thakur will do anything now to get what Rupa and Sanatana were tasting. If he has to sell his grandmother to the devil, he'll do it. So Granny, don't trust Bhakti-vedanta Thakur anymore, Because now he's asaktis. He's attached to that world. And after asaktis, and then sadhu bhakti kriya narta nivriti nishda ruchi. Asaktis, baba. Yeah. So he's starting off like this. We're going from this. That's why in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the purport, Prabhupada uses it the same way to describe these levels. So Prarthana is a very progressive songbook. As far as I understand, the songs are just first off material detachment and Vaidhi Bhakti, and they go. It's a very fantastic, songbook. So the first song is in a summary. When will I get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? Then I can get the spiritual life. I can get Nityananda's mercy. I get detached from this world. I get detached from material desires. Then I can see the spiritual world. I come to the temple and I realize this is the spiritual world. Radha and Krishna are here. My goodness, okay. What's next? Turn the page and find out.
So, attachment to Rupa and Raghunatha's feet.
Anxious.
Yeah.
Anxious.
More anxious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anxious. We'll have eagerness. I would say.
Actually, the word Prabhupada uses.
Get into his.
The word Prabhupada uses hankering.
Hankering could be okay.
Yeah. In Spanish, anhelando. It's much easier to translate these into Spanish than it is English. Mm-hmm. Spanish is much more nice language, no? Yeah. Anhelando.
Yeah. Well, because of the Indo-European languages, they're similar.
And also because of this Catholic culture, and also because there's more oranges there. It's warmer. It's more human place. Germany's not for human beings.
So it's more emotional.
Yeah, more human. Yeah.
Which language is that?
Bengali.
This is Bangla.
Bengali. Yes, Spanish, speak language. ¿Usted habla español? ¿Usted? No? Francés. Es parecido. Hermanos. Pyrenees. We're separated by the Basques. Los Bascos. Yeah.
French is also very close.
Yeah. But when you start to get to German, you're going too far north.
Yeah. German is more English.
We were coming out of the airport in Madrid. They had to go to the temple. There's a big advertising for Aero Berlin. And it says, Madrid to Berlin, only $49, something like that, And then below it says, we're not joking, we are German. So it's a kind of a German joke. Yeah. My grandfather's Austrian, so I can say these things. Carl Jung, who's Swiss, he said, a German is somebody who would invent suspenders for socks and expect you to thank him. Like that. Yeah. Because it's in Germany, it's just it's 50 below, not that bad, maybe like 20 below zero. So you've got to go from here to there, and everything is like that. It's just you're dealing with nature. It's a struggle. It's a fight, And so a lot of metal. So now that German culture is predominating in the United States. Indigenous people, and they say your ancestors were very good metal workers. The talking wire, the iron horse. What is the computer industry? High-tech metallurgy. Everybody see this as this strong German influence here. Very cutting, very hard, very direct. So this language is a very nice language. It's more like Spanish. Easier to express these things. Yeah. When Johansaduda was in charge in Berkeley, Chakravarti was his commander-in-chief when he was in this big thing in Germany. So he came and became with his wife, Mother Dina Sharanam. Now she's a GBC for Germany. So they took over the gift store. They painted everything red and black. And you walked in there, it was just like this shock, like that, So I was talking to him about it and this and that. And he was laughing. He said, Hanuman Swami, for Germans there are two colors, black and white. He said, sometimes red, like that,
That's
But
the flag color also, red.
Yes, yes. You are right or you are wrong. And they say translating Prabhupada's books into German, I've talked to translators who did it, they say it's difficult because German is so like, there's nothing in between, there's no ras. No ras. Okay. Rupa Raganatha Pade Hoibe Akuti. When I become anxious to get a hold of the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath. Now Prabhupada translates this as when I become anxious to understand the books of the Goswamis. A few years ago when I was in Vrindavan, I was trying to see Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet in the Samadhi, but I couldn't see them because his books were in the way. He had a book there, and I thought, maybe that's a message. If I'm trying to see the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, the best way to do it is through his books. So Prabhupada here is confirming it. Kabe hama bujabo seyugala piriti. Then I will be able to understand Yugala Puriti. What is Yugala Puriti?
Yugala is the Krishna and Radha's Juga, the two
Divine couple.
Yeah.
Priti is the love.
Conjugal.
Yeah.
It's the same word in English. Jugal. It also means couple.
Couple.
Yeah, jugal. Rugal, yugal.
What do you say in Spanish?
Huh?
What do you say in Spanish?
Conjugal.
Conjugal.
It's a Latin word. So then also Dora Bazan Montenegro de Devoto, she became a devotee, big professor. She traced all these things all the way back to the Latin. She got a PhD. She couldn't go any farther than the Greek. She met devotees and she kept on going. And she did her whole PhD. She became an emeritus professor from that work. Because the Greeks were saying it's coming from an earlier source, but nobody could find it. So with that help of Prabhupada's side, she found so many things that these conjugal feelings are coming from India, these ideas like that, So, this is what Prabhupada uses, the verse Prabhupada uses to introduce this book. That what we're really trying to do, he says in the preface, is that he says we're followers of Lord Chaitanya, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas headed by Rupa Goswami, are followers of Lord Chaitanya. And what is Lord Chaitanya's mission? Why does he come? Huh? Close. Plus half. Huh? Also close. You get a half point each. Huh? Let's just see what Prabhupada says. Okay, the preface right here.
We don't have that.
They're available at the gift store here, aren't they?
No, we are not here. Shall I distribute the book?
That's okay. It's okay. We'll keep it here. He says here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. Every word. I mean, you go on through this again and again. Every word is like correct. It's just like myself. A year of studying this. Actually, it's about 2 years ago I came to this comprehension. Wow, it's just like this book is like, and you can, if you put this book on a thread. And spread it out like this, like that, like that. Because it's a string, right? How long would it be? One string of I could roll it up like that, But it's like that. Every single, pretty much, word is like fitting in, has a reason. And the citations, of course, we're mentioning. We're going through one citation, the preface now, and it just opens up this whole world. Prabhupada's quoting this, but it's like somebody who knows all this. He's just talking to you a little bit, but if you follow each of these citations and everything else, it becomes a whole study guide. So this is the one that Prabhupada quotes, Rupa Raghunatha Pade, Hoibe akuti, kabehama herabo, no kabehamo bujabo, siyugala piriti. So Lord Chaitanya is trying to give this benediction of the science of Krishna. So our mission is to try and become qualified by taking shelter of the books left by the Goswamis to help Lord Chaitanya give the science of Krishna. It's a science. You must know all these things. But not right away. Well, just chant Hare Krishna and take prasadam. Yeah. Now the last line, which is not in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Morash Prartana Koroje Sada Narotamadas. Okay, your best poetic translation here right now for your PhD.
Okay, what he's saying is that
Tears about to come from your eyes.
Sorry. Okay, so he says that his hope is that he's always at the feet of Rupa and Raghunath.
Yeah.
And that's what he's
Ash.
Ash is hope.
Aspiration.
Aspiration.
Oh.
And so Narottam Das is always praying that. Karai Shada is always.
Yeah.
So Prarthana, that's his prayer that he's saying.
Yeah. He's always praying at the Rupa, always
praying that his mind should be always at
Prarthana, always offering prayers at the feet of Rupa and Raghunath. Now we know what he feels about Rupa and Raghunath, right? This song was written probably after their disappearance, like that. So we know when he says what he's thinking, and it's all he wants to do. He's always somehow or other be at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunath offering prayers. Now what's the name of the songbook?
Prarthana.
So
these prayers.
Yeah, so this is the introduction to the Prarthana, and it's a summary of the whole thing, like that. And it takes us on, okay, so now we've got, by Nityananda's mercy, we got free from our samsara vasanas, and now we can see Vrindavan. Very nice, but now, even in Vrindavan, if you told Mother Yashoda that at night time her Krishna goes out and dances with other women, other men's wives, what would she do to you? Probably poke you in the nose. Like that. Yeah. Oh, you're one of these people spreading these malicious rumors. Now I know where they're coming from. Yeah. She wouldn't believe it. Yeah. So to get into this Yugala Piriti, whose mercy do you need?
Nityananda?
No. Even Nityananda won't exactly take you there. Huh?
Rupa and Raghunath.
Rupa and Raghunath. And Rupa and Raghunath are? Manjaris. So Prabhupada says, then by the mercy of the Manjaris, we can, get there, like that. So it's a very intense song. That's okay. Now we haven't even got off the first page yet. Okay. Yeah. So we're using Upadeshamrita as a study guide for Prabhupada's books, like that. Okay. So we had our song, our introductory song. So it's a very nice song to memorize, to contemplate, to give us classes. And how much do you need? How much can you teach? It's we have a very nice program in South America, in Argentina. You leave Buenos Aires, go down the coast to Mar de Plata, and the speculation is it's called that. What does plata mean? No, plata. Silver. In France it's different. Plata means silver. Yeah. It's very famous because when they swear all the delegates in for the corrupt government in Peru, the corrupt Congress in Peru is like the corrupt Congress in India. It's about the same level of what's going on there. So everybody, the thing you have to say is, I now take my oath to, as a congressman, for the national for my heritage, national heritage, for patriotism, and for something else like that. So what is patria? And this one guy got up there and said, "I now take my oath for the plata." He made a slip. And everybody just broke into laughter. The guy turned 14 colors of red, and then the commentators said, "Wow, at least one of these guys is honest." so on. So, Mar de Plata. Because in the evening, when the sun is going down, the whole sea turns silver-colored like that. So, and if you go directly east from there, you go below the southern tip of Africa, like that. It's very far south. So very nice programs, very nice preaching. And what we started doing there was Light of the Bhagavat, and interfaith dialogue. And so we had Padre Hugo Segovia, very old Catholic priest, and very nice guy, very nice person. He's been a brahmachari for probably his whole life. And so when I was with him, I feel like very, respectful and everything. It was a very nice connection, feeling like that, And then two Muslims, and you could tell one is like the high class, well-to-do Muslim guys, formally following their religion, and the other guy's a Sufi, which are very mystical, internal guys. And you could see that they didn't talk to each other so much, but because these dialogues, they started like talking and stuff, And then we had a Jewish guy, rabbi fellow, ourselves. We were discussing homosexuality, drugs, so many things. It's so nice, What would happen, we give our public presentations, and then be a break for prasadam. Then we'd all start talking amongst ourselves, like, more technical things. The Jewish guy, his point was that the soul is almost different than the body, but not quite. He said, like when you have a cup of coffee, and you finish the coffee, there's always a little bit left in the cup. Right? So for that reason, we don't burn the body. It's very interesting. We don't burn the body of a sadhu either, because we also figure there's a little bit left in the body. So you start having areas where you can start talking about things. When they talk about the soul, which in Latin is, Greek is psyche. Psyche means the soul in Greek. So psychology is the study of the soul. Yeah, okay. But it's become very degraded now, Okay, so you get a reaction here. Persona is the mask, and behind the mask in the drama is the psyche. But the psyche, okay, for them, for Christianity, is the subtle body. When we're talking about soul, psyche, they're talking about the subtle body. You can see it matches up. Oh, okay. Now, for them, the spirit is something different than the soul. Okay. Now we're starting to be able to communicate with each other why we do things. So we have this word spirit in English. Where does it appear? One place it appears. Here's a hint. Respiration. Yeah. So how did God enter the soul into the body in the Bible? Yeah. Yeah. So for them, the spirit is prana, what we call prana. And many times in the Vedas it says the same thing, that this is what we're talking about. This is the ultimate thing. If you, he's not here. We're not in Berkeley now. Okay. If you're in Berkeley, and you take off from the temple and walk down Telegraph Avenue chanting your rounds as a brahmachari in 1977, which I was doing that Hare Krishna. You come to Peter Ralston's Kung Fu studio. And because of my background, I can't walk past without looking, He was teaching Kung Fu, Xingyi, and Pakwa. Just 3 different styles. So finally, I walked inside one time, and I was talking to one of his students. Because he's a magician. This guy is unbelievable. I mean, I've seen him you pushing. Like this, you try and get the person to move his feet. You're standing there, you push, you try and deceive him to pull him off. So you're standing facing like this, right? So I've seen him bend this far backwards and come straight up again. Wow. You can't do that. It's not possible. Move like that. Yeah. So prana. Yeah. One devotee, Janardhan Das, he was a wrestler in college. He was a bus captain for Tamal Krishna Maharaj. He was in charge of one of the buses. Actually, his bus, the deities in Berkeley were not on his bus, but they were also Radha Damodar buses, deities, little ones. No, Radha Chaitanya, Nitai Chaitanya Chandra, the little deities of Gauratai. They were Radha Damodar bus deities. You can ask them sometime about their experiences. I'll tell you. So he was a bus captain. He was a wrestler in college. So he said he was taking classes there one time with Peter Ralston. And Peter Rawson had like 6 young, healthy guys like him surround him. He was trying to show them like what they were trying to learn. He said, okay, all you surround me. He said, okay, now when I say go, you try and attack me. So Janardhan told me he counted, I said, go, 1001. Less than 2 seconds, all 6 of them were on the ground. And it took them a couple of seconds to catch their breath. They'd been like knocked hard enough that, they were just, a little bit incapacitated. So anyway, that's Peter Ralston. It's one big international competition. It's the biggest competition in the world. It's a secret. And he won that. It's a heavy thing like that. So I was asking one of his students, what's your idea of nature, or your philosophy of nature, these kind of things? He said, well, there's 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, wood, and paper. so I said, because what? We got earth, Bhumir, Apo, Nalo. Yeah, so I asked, because then they go wood and paper. I said, well, what about air? And he said, in Chinese martial arts philosophy, air is like God. It's everywhere. Okay, that's what they are. They're kung fu guys. They worship prana and everything like that, so on. So you begin to see different people, their consciousness, so on. So we're starting off here with Upadeshamrita, the preface, and Prabhupada's giving us this song by Nartam as an introduction like that. And it's taking us all the way to, the Vrindavan in the mood of the Manjaris, like that, And so what an opportunity. You can even if you become like, a disciple of Peter Ralston, you can become famous. Become as a magician, everything else like that. What to speak of this? My God, we're going way beyond the Vaikuntha, so on. So, it's kind of our class for tonight. Anybody else have any? Are you on a certain verse in Bhagavad Gita or something like that? I just did it, kind of, So, any questions? Questions about anything? Comments? I can go on for 7 days and 7 nights, more or less, like that. My voice won't take it. I have the killer flu, like that.
Maharaj, I have a question. I'm on phone.
Oh, okay. Who is this?
I'm Avijit. I normally come on every Sunday, but today I have to take care of my daughter at home, so I'm just doing this online.
Okay.
So I have a question actually from Srimad Bhagavatam.
Uh-huh.
It's a more on the mundane side, on the atomic time.
Oh, yeah. Canto 3.
It says there in the Bhagavatam in 3rd canto that atomic time is how much it takes to cover the space of the atom. Now we know that there are different sizes of atoms. So how can then atomic time be the same time, like the similar measurement?
And what is it? 2 atoms form a biatom. And
yes,
two
Paramanus forms Anu, and then there is a hexatom, which is Trasaranu.
Trasaranu, yeah. Okay. So let us now speculate. Okay. Yeah. No, but that's what you do, because if you take the Shastra, this is called philosophical speculation. You take the basis in Scripture, and you look for more explanations, but when there's no direct explanation, you try, and you need to understand something, then you speculate, and then you look for confirmation for your hypothesis in Prabhupada's books by reading them again and again. I do a lot of speculation based upon Upadeshamrita, but then I go through it again and I see, no, that's not correct. Okay, so I reject that hypothesis and I go through, yes, it's correct. Here it's confirmed. Wow, and you start to develop your logic and your whole basis like that. My hypothesis now, which is halfway confirmed, is that basically Prabhupada saying, at first initiation you're a Kanista Adhikari, second initiation you're a Madhyama Adhikari, and when you take sannyasa you're a pure devotee. Okay, you're Uttama Adhikari. But you have to make further progress after becoming Uttama Adhikari to become a pure devotee. Like that, So you go on like that. Okay, that's roughly speaking. Okay, so from my background, in science and everything else. As far as I can understand, and Prabhupada says people who know science and stuff, they have to go through this and connect it up. He says, I'm not a scientist. So Sadhaputta did a lot of work, in connecting up, for example, the astronomical calculations and things like that to put it together. And actually the people in Bengal helped him to find some of the references, some of our friends. I have a suspicion that because the Bhagavatam is focusing on the level of sound. Because of our culture, we're highly addicted to what kind of perception? Smell, taste, visual. Yeah, we're highly addicted to visual perception. If you go to the University of California, you used to go to the University of California Veda-based thing, this used to be called Melville, and you say visual perception, it comes back with maybe 10,000 references. See, acoustical perception comes back with 1,000. Yeah? So we're highly biased, and many sociologists also of culture, that we're highly biased towards seeing things like that. But which is subtler, seeing or hearing? Yeah. How's it go? Sequential event discrimination, 2 flashes of light. At 1/24th of a second, you can start to see it flashing. Yeah, that's called critical flicker frequency. What is a television? Television? It's a series of still pictures, movies. If they're changing slower than 1/24th of a second, you can start to see it flickering. When it hits 24, you can't see it anymore, normal person. And videos, they go up, I think, to 28. And that's why videos many times look more glassy than ordinary television. Look kind of glassy because they're so fast, they just like that, So, touch is 3 times faster, right? Touch is 3 times faster than that. Maybe 1/75th of a second, you can distinguish things. Therefore, a magician, he can do things you can't see. I used to do stage magic. He can change cards and stuff like that. So with his hands, he can feel it, but you can't see it. Literally can't see it. The hand is quicker than the eye. As a magician, he used to do this kind of stuff. It's like a person, you can't see it, but the person knows what he's doing. You can feel it. Okay. And then sound. This is a book. This is a book in case you're interested. What's the guy's name? I forgot his name. Sound. I forgot his name. He'll come back later. He's a famous German biologist. Soundworks? Mindworks. So it's hyphenated, so you got to look up Mindworks, hyphenated like that. Ernst Poppel, I think is the guy's name. He's a pretty famous biologist. So he did this research. So touch is 3 times finer than vision, and sound is 3 times finer than touch, like that. So a human being, okay, now here's another book, Acoustical Sense in Animals by Leonard Stebbins, Acoustical Sense in Animals. And he goes through all different kinds of species and hearing. Oh, it's interesting. What kind of bodies you can get. So a human being can distinguish a half cycle change in frequency at 2,000 cycles per second. That's maybe about what it is. If I change that a half cycle, everybody in this room would be able to distinguish it. 1/2 cycle, not even a full cycle. Human being has tremendously sensitive ears and apparatus for interpreting it like that, So therefore we can communicate very subtle things like that. Konstantin Stanislavski, the father of modern theater, he would give his act. He had these things made up, maybe like 6 different paragraphs. Two spies meeting, 2 lovers meeting, 2 businessmen meeting. And every single one of the dialogues finished off with the word tonight. Like the 2 spies were supposed to meet, and they said, okay, tonight. 2 lovers are supposed to meet tonight, and the 2 businessmen, like that, And then they passed them out, and all the actors could do was get up there on stage and say that one word. And all the rest of the students had to figure out what it was from that one word. Tonight. Is it the lovers, the spies, or the businessmen? Tonight. Okay, now another one here. Tonight. Yeah, spies, because sound is so rich, so fine, So if you're hearing, so now when you're listening to Prabhupada chant the holy name of Krishna, listen, because that's, the spiritual world is there, like that. Yeah. So sound is so fine. So my impression is that when we're looking at the Bhagavatam, we're looking at a culture which existed 5,000 years ago. It's the end of the age of bronze, okay? And it's also much more oriented towards sound than everything else. So my speculation is, and sometimes these have proven to be true, sometimes, when it's talking about Anu, it's talking about the minimal acoustical arc. Trying to understand that. The minimal acoustical arc. The ultimate, smallest perception you can make of matter acoustically. Okay? How long is the present moment? There's a good question for you. Get your PhD in psychology on this one. Yeah. I had another thing in psychology. Okay, you sit down here. You got to take these experiments, otherwise you don't graduate. Psychology is the study of college sophomores and white rats, because that's all the guys see. To get their experiments, all these sophomores have to go in and sign up for 3 experiments. That's how the graduate students get their subjects. I investigated 500 people, but they're all college sophomores. Okay. So they come in there, and it's 3 things. I say, okay, write down which comes first, which comes second, which comes third. Okay. Click, whistle, buzz. Buzz, click, whistle. Okay, so it's okay. This is a stupid science experiment. But then they start coming closer together. Okay, and now you can pick out the first one, but you can't tell which came first or second of the other one. But you can make a pair. Okay, so you can deduce. Okay, you can deduce because this came buzz or whist. It must have been the click. But you can't distinguish it. Then it goes even faster. Now you can hear all 3 sounds separately. They're not merging. You can hear all 3 sounds separately, but you cannot tell which is first, which is second, or which is third. Yeah. So therefore, time as a line is not supported, by objective experimental evidence like that. It's something we use to organize things. Well, let's break it down to microseconds, nanoseconds, picoseconds. No, forget it. It's not something you can experience. The experiencing level breaks down. I'm not sure what the speed is, but at a certain point beyond that, we're just using it. We cannot confirm by perception empirically that it exists. And time is a line. She's thinking about this. One after another. So therefore, what is the minimum atom of existence that we can experience? And that's what I think the word Anu means there, is the minimum experience that we can have. And it's going to be an acoustical experience, not a visual experience. Yeah. And so, and also this is the end of the Dwapara Yuga. So how fast can these guys manipulate these things, right? What is the minimum English language time standard, time unit? 1 word, only 1 word, huh? No, now they get 2 words there. 1 word. Second, yeah. So you got there, yeah. And that's about as a drummer can get maybe down like something like that, but a second is like, for us.
But Vedic time division is likely.
Exactly. So what's the minimum Vedic time standard? Sanskrit?
Lava?
No. Proti. Yeah. Truti. That's the smallest time second mission in the Vedas. It's about, I think it's 1/1700th of a second. On a piano, it's like somewhere up here. Ding, 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 So why do they use such small time standards? Oh, because they're speculating, they want to impress the common people? No. Probably because they could do things that fast. A Brahmin, even now, if you're born in a nice Brahmin family, and you have nice training and celibacy, everything else, you develop very fine nervous system. You can hear overtones in, six overtones in music. Your nervous system is so fine, everything else, like that. Even now, what to speak of, 75 years ago, 500 years ago, 5,000 years ago. So again, my speculation is that the Anu is talking about there is this minimal acoustical perception of reality, and if you take a window screen, it says you can see these things coming through. Window screen, I don't know what they're talking about exactly. It may have been like things covered with oil. Before we had these metal screens, metal workers again, before we had these metal screens in America, they used to just take oilcloth, you take paper, and covered with oil. And that's how they had windows for light to come in before. And it keeps the mosquitoes out like that. So it says that these Anus can be seen coming through the window screen and stuff like that. So this is my speculation so far. So then it's talking about some kind of atom. And it's okay to speculate like this because Niels Bohr had a completely different atom than Feynman has, and he has a different atom than somebody else has. They themselves speculate about what is the Anu, So, but this is a very good area to try and develop these things. But I would suspect that the thing is research is much more fruity if we start doing it in terms of sound and how these things combine together. And Prabhupada says it will be the basis of great scientific discoveries like that. Yeah. One last point. I was driving in an automobile with Shankar Shastri, who was Dean of Engineering at State University of New York School. And he became Dean because the Jews and everybody else couldn't agree. So they elected a Hindu because he was so neutral. He told me this personally. He has a PhD in manufacturing techniques and a PhD in properties of materials, like that. So we're driving in his car down the freeway in New York, and I said, "Well, Shankar, if you subjected a freezing metal to a standing wave, could you influence the crystal packing pattern?" And he went into a trance. He was just like froze. I had to actually grab the steering wheel and kind of I'm literally used this one like, because I'm sorry, Shankar, I asked you. And I pulled it, but he kind of came back like that. Because, do you see what I've just said? What is a freezing metal? It means that any metal, when it's going from liquid, becomes freezing. Now you're going to subject it to a standing wave. Because if you get a certain frequency right, it creates patterns. You see these things, they have when the sand forms patterns like that. You've got a standing wave, right? So, and what happens when you take iron and carbon and cool it and freeze it? What do you get? Steel. You get steel, right? Carbon-14. It fits in. Yeah. Or else you can get packing patterns that are not stable. You can bang on the thing and it will drop to a lower level. Oh my goodness. So let's start taking some alloys and let's get some sound going and see if we can produce new kinds of metals, that, for example, they have tremendous energy and all you have to do is say the right mantra to release the energy. Agnyastra. Yeah, so the whole Prabhupada says, you just sharpen your intelligence on Srimad Bhagavatam and it'll be the source of many great discoveries. So this doesn't require a gigantic laboratory or anything else. A little bit of work and these kind of things. It's a whole new area of using sound to try and influence crystallization of metals and stuff like that. Yeah.
Is it somehow tied to quantum theory?
Okay, well, quantum theory in the beginning, right, it's a name. Because the idea, when Einstein and all these guys were first investigating, let's pump energy into the electrons going around the carbon atom, and let's try and raise them from one orbital to S to P or like that, orbital like that. Okay. Now, is it going to go in a quantified jump, or is it going to go just gradually? And the result was quantified jump. So that was quantum mechanics. But after that, so many things that became connected with that. So I understand they became quantum mechanics. But that's just how it started. The name occurred, and after that, it all other things, So quantum mechanics deals with that level of manipulation.
Yeah, because you're talking about the waves and the frequency, and you put the Schrodinger's wave equation, the energy of interaction. So I'm trying to...
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take all these people who believe in these things and know these things, and we're trying to build a bridge so they can connect to the Vedas, to the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then they have faith. Oh, this Bhagavatam explains what I know very nicely. But also it explains it in such a way that, for example, Charles Towns, he was saying, myself, a Nobel laureate in physics, he said, myself and many people are interested in what you're doing because for two reasons. One is because in the West there was this Cartesian split. You know about this?
I only know about Descartes,
Yeah.
the philosopher.
Yeah.
And now you have to explain what the
at the time of Descartes, and he got the bad rap for it, but other people also did the same thing. They said rational life and emotional and intuitive life are fighting. Science and religion are fighting. Let's just separate them. Then they won't fight. Right? Okay, it's like a husband and wife, they're fighting. Well, let's get them separate bedrooms. Then they won't fight. But also, no children. yeah. So that's what people are saying, that there is this conflict between the rational life, and tomorrow in Stanford we'll give a whole lecture on this, on truth. What's it called? It's called Truth and Love. Okay, and Harvey Cox did a great lecture.
What time is the lecture?
I don't know.
Somebody said 7.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. at Stanford. In case Abhijit wants to go.
Okay.
The guy who is listening.
Yeah. Okay. Probably look on our website. It'll be there. Huh? Email has been sent.
Okay. I didn't get this email.
She didn't get it.
This evening. No wonder I didn't get it.
Okay.
And Dipa Prabhu sent me an email saying that the email has been sent.
Okay.
Why would I ask him if I have already received it?
You're not crazy.
Well, maybe.
Even though you are Bengali. Even though you are Bengali. Bengalis are crazy like Lord Chaitanya. Yes.
But the email didn't have the transfer.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow.
That I don't know.
Yeah. So this Descartes was part of the split in the West where the church went one way and the university went the other way. So in traditional Vedic culture, they don't split. To know is to love, and to love is to know. Like that. And if you have a lot of power, you know how to use it. And if you had a lot of intelligence how to deal with things properly, you have a lot of power. But as Charles Towns said, in the West, we've separated this thing to where Richard Nixon, whose personal character many people have put into grave doubt, had sufficient power that with one phone call he could kill 140 million people within 20 minutes. This split has gone too far. There's a whole book called Healing the Cartesian Split. That in the West, since Charles Towns, that's why I'm interested in many people I know that we're looking for a new way of looking at the world, which will allow us to see it in a nice fashion. The second reason, he said, is because at the time of Newton and all these people, we were discovering so much, but we couldn't put it together. So Newton gave optics, mechanics, these things, and now we can explain it. Then by the time of de Broglie, James Jean, Einstein, we also got so much information. And then we got quantum theory, there's another one too, relativity theory. He said, but now the same thing's happening again. And we're discovering so much which we just cannot explain. And so we're looking to other cultures, and if they have a different view of nature, which actually has practical value. So people are actually looking into the Vedas and everything else for very practical things, not just like philosophy and meditation, but practically speaking, a better way to understand material nature. Get that, So Descartes was the guy who split it. So our whole process then is to try and introduce this stuff at different levels, different people, build bridges. And so somebody, that's their job, building the bridge, and somebody else's job is actually to build the bridge. so they're trying to take Vastu, There are devotees now who are using Vastu. If you're going to get a degree in real estate, if you know some Vastu, you can right away. You just call it feng shui. He's a Vastu feng shui real estate agent. So in California, he picks all the mystical. He only markets mystical houses like that. In California, you'll get people coming like that. You can grow a beard like that and stuff. That's it there, Go there in front of the house and, drop rocks on the floor or something. But it's a fact. Vastu is great science, tremendous science, and has its effect. Very much. How your house, where the doors are and everything else, you can just see it. They kill people. Certain houses will kill people. Yeah. Yep. If you can see the back door from the front door.
That's a feng shui thing.
It's the same as, there's a book by a devotee called Vastu, The Origin of Feng Shui. Okay, yeah. That's the first 5 paragraphs, and after that he goes all about Vastu. Yeah. If you can see how many houses are like this? Can you see your back door from your front door?
Not mine.
Okay. Sometimes you can, right? You open it up. Your house, you can, right? In fact, you got a big. You can't see it. Can you open the door? Can you see the glass there?
Yes.
Okay, and it's a big glass. So what happens when you open that front door up? It just sucks you right through, right? Yeah, into the backyard like that. Okay. If you have a tendency to accumulate too much, to eat too much, to have too much money, this is good for you. It'll relieve you. If you're the kind of person who's just struggling to exist, is dying of tuberculosis, haven't got enough money, that house will kill you. Everything will you won't be able to collect anything. You'll drop dead. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fact.
But the devotee sign said that it's vastu perfect, Maharaj.
Huh?
It's vastu perfect.
They are imperfect. No? That's why they say perfect.
Yeah. So if you want Tulsi back there, then she collects everything. It just throws everybody at Tulsi's lotus feet. Okay, but this, it works. These things work. The consciousness is there. Every single Vastu book, they may argue about things, but every single Vastu book will tell you, never, 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 never. They all agree on this. Never, never, never. Live in a house that has a toilet in the northeast corner. Right?
I don't even know if my toilet's right.
So here's the house, okay? Here's the north, okay? The Vastu Purush is lying with his feet like this, and his arms like this, his head like this, crosswise. Head in the northeast, feet in the southwest. So if your toilet is in the northeast, you are defecating in the Vastu Purush's face. And the guy who controls that area, and he'll find some way to get revenge. You're gonna get revenge, right? Like that. Yeah, yeah. And it goes on like this. There's so many things that confirm that Vastu is not. It's a science. Astrology is a science. Ayurveda is a science. So The Bhagavatam touches on all these things. If you're into these things, you see more and more like what it's talking about, like that's your area of speciality. So the Bhagavatam is for that purpose, so that everybody can come connected. The architects can become connected. The doctors can become connected. The musicians especially. Our Veda, our yoga is Gandharva Veda. Gandharva Veda. That's our yoga. Chanting, dancing, and singing. Like that. With some prasadam. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's, all these areas, and everybody has their particular nature, ability, and then so you to sharpen your intelligence on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada told Srila Damodara Maharaj, you don't have to have a laboratory. Sharpen your intelligence on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and explain it to your friends, your associates, your circle, like that. Yeah, and you'll become, rich, famous. You can marry a beautiful girl. You can buy a car. You can have land. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, the doll is for me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's my idea about the tracer anus, that they're acoustically based and they're integrating different sounds and they become bigger like that. So on. Okay. Next question, comment, complaint. What time are we supposed to stop?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay. We have 11 minutes. No, 21 minutes. I'm going to be dead by then anyway. This is really good for your health. It forces all the mucus out of my lungs. Yeah.
So Maharaj, it's in this world, like if we are young.
What do you mean by this world?
In the material world. That
Hindu woman. What do you mean by this world? Yeah. White man. Yeah.
In the material world.
The material world. There are many of those too.
In this Earth planet.
Earth planet, many of those. Yeah. And do you mean by this modern, industrialized? Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah. Silicon Valley world. Okay. Yeah. I know it. Yeah.
So Maharaj, like when we are in lower grades, especially like in education, suppose if I am 5th grade.
Okay.
And I do some math in trigonometry or calculus, I don't know, and I may not do it right.
Yeah.
But when I pass the degree, I'm able to do that, and there will not be a time when I will never. If I know it for sure, and I will not fall down from which I didn't know when I was earlier.
Yeah.
But we chant and we do so many things in devotional service, and we do it for a long period of time, and we get initiation and all that.
It creates a vasana.
Yes, but still, Maharaj, I cannot tell that I have overcome the lust, anger, greed.
Yeah.
Because there is no kind of a success point that you cross this, it will not come.
There are things.
But is it like...
before first initiation, you have to have been able to avoid them grossly for 1 year. Right? So it's a certain objective standard. Have you been able to follow this for 1 year? Yes. Like that. Can you follow it your whole life? I think so, yeah. Okay. We don't big surprises if Maya Devi herself sends a guy with a big mustache and a big motor car, and your husband disappears. Then okay. That doesn't count. We're talking about reasonable, ordinary life. Yeah, I can follow this. I can do this. Yeah, like that. Okay, so you're ready for first initiation. Like that, Second initiation, you're chanting a little better and something like that. So the Bhagavatam, it's a science. There are different standards. And you can see what level you're at like that, Adoshvada, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, in second initiation, first initiation, Anartha Nivritti. Okay, then you're ready for second initiation. Nishta, always chanting. Prabhupada says Nishta, always getting up in the morning, always chanting your rounds, always doing your service. Not sometimes chanting, sometimes not chanting. At this point he says you are 75% Krishna conscious. My God, it's a science. Okay, Nishta. Then you start to get a taste, transcendental, not just relief from distress, but you actually start to get like, you always, for example, when I had to go on the altar at noontime in Berkeley, nobody else wanted to do a noon offering. And oh my God, I got to take a shower, go on, this and that. But I knew as soon as I actually started doing the ritual, every single time my consciousness would go up. So I could push myself to do it. And every single time I would I'm here with Krishna, offering his lunch and stuff like that. So that's ruchi. Yeah.
So Maharaj, why I'm asking is sometimes we feel that the chanting is very nice and it's very, you relish it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, then at another point, it's the worst. It's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is this Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama? Is it like the mode of passion, goodness, and ignorance that it changes and combines, or is it like if I become Madhyama, I'm always in Madhyama like that? Because why do we go back and forth like that?
Yes. Now I know which world you're talking about. You are talking about our industrialized German world. Yes. You are Nishta or you are Ruchi. That's it. That's it. Isn't it? That's what I came to this conclusion. I heard Bhakti Purna Vidyamars, Purna Vidyamars, making the same point. Because of our conditioning, we're thinking that, first Adoshvada, Sadhu Sangha, Bhartana Krita, Anishta, it's like that. But it's not like that. It's more like a curve, Okay, Nishta, I'm always getting up, I'm always chanting, always doing my service. But sometimes I have doubts about things, But not so much anymore, not so often, and not so heavy. In the beginning, I'm wondering, my God, what are these Hare Krishnas? Like, this guy's completely nuts and everything else. I read in the magazine. Somebody gave me this web page about, Prabhupada's what's it called, a misogynist. Yeah, so on, Okay, but now, that's where I am. I'm a Doshvada. But sometimes, but I'm going to keep coming because, wow, one time I saw the Radharani and she winked at me and, So this is maybe way up there in Baba, But it's like a little bit. So generally it's how it is. That you're fixing, you're chanting your rounds, you're getting up, and sometimes, you're having a little bit of difficulty associating with devotees, but usually you get along pretty well. And sometimes you actually have doubts, but very rare and not very serious. And then sometimes Nishta, Ruchi, often you're really getting a taste of something unusual. Ruchi, Nishta, Asaktis. And you're actually, really, generally speaking, a lot more attached to it than you were before. You can see that. So that's what happens. It's like, and why is it influenced? Because the modes. Mamcha Yobhyacharena. And that's Brahma, Of course, there's Param Brahma too. So in the beginning, the modes very much influence our service, like that. But as we we take the rope, okay, Diksha, now the waves are coming. Here comes a big wave. Okay, take a deep breath and hold on. My guru just fell down. Haribol. Wow. What? Okay, but I got to chant my rounds. I got to follow the 4 principles. I got to do this and that. Other things aren't so sure anymore. It's a big turmoil. Everything else. Why did I just did that? Blah blah. But it doesn't matter. These things I know I got to do. I promise to do these. Okay. So that's Diksha. You made a promise to Krishna, through the Acharya, through everybody else. And so, okay, that's it. So then you got the rope. And because of that, these waves come, and sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes it's very easy. row your boat, nearly down the stream. Yeah. But then the waterfall comes, or the rapids come in the river, Then as we get closer to the shore, what happens? You go underwater, but now you hit the ground, so you can push yourself back up, And then you come to the point where maybe the water's up to your waist. Haribol, let go of the rope. Let go of the rope. No, that's not let go of the rope even still, because that happened to Mars Bharata, right? Yeah. So, so different levels, and different reactions. And so sometimes in the beginning the modes are very powerful, what's happening. Then after that, the different things are happening because of our own free will. If you're in Vrindavan, and you do something offensive, how many people had this experience of committing some offense in Vrindavan? What happens? Yeah. Before that, mine was much more of that immediate. The whole place attacked me. The rocks were hitting my feet. Rickshaw wallahs were trying to kill me. It was just like, what it was everything turned on me. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Like that, okay, watch it, buddy. Like that. Okay, that's Vrindavan. So then the taste, the coming and the going, everything else like that, is happening because of our offenses. It's no longer because of karma. Was Ajamil sinful?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Was he offensive? No. Was Daksha sinful? No. Was he offensive? Yes. Yeah, okay. So we're beginning to learn, no? Yeah. So at that point, the modes aren't acting so much. So there's still some reaction. You have your bad days, your up days, look at your karma, okay, And so it influences you. But now mostly it's because of what we're doing. We've done defensive things, and, Krishna's a little upset with us, And so we apologize, and like Mars Bharata, okay. But hang out as a deer for one lifetime, okay, all right, But you can take prasadam, He was a deer, right? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sudaracharo. Who can fall down? Can the Madhyamādhikari fall down? Yes. Yep. Can the Uttamaādhikari fall down? Yes. Yep. It says right here, Udashamrita. Yeah. As soon as one becomes envious, he falls from the Paramahamsa platform. He says that. But it's voluntary. It's not a result of karma. It's because of he was offensive. Mars Bharata was not just overwhelmed by the cute little deer. He actually made this choice to give his affection to this deer who was worshiping him rather than Krishna. So he committed aparad. But Krishna, came and poked him in the nose, something like that. Hey, what are you doing? I'm your friend. Okay, maybe one last question. Yeah, maybe 2 last questions actually. Yeah. We have a book. We're also working here in our own way. Okay, one other thing. I'll do this right away. So we've been also trying to do our Sankirtan with NEOS, North American Institute for Oriental and Classical Studies, a 501c3 nonprofit educational corporation registered in the state of Tennessee. Okay, as we left here, we organized that. We're making movies. You saw before we did one movie, which we got a better production now. It comes out smoother. We've been doing a symposium in light of the Bhagavad. So our last project was this, one of my disciples, Jambavati Devi Dasi. She's done so much Sankirtan, she has no more cartilage on the bottom of her feet. so her jaws were falling apart. So we can't give her any money because of the way it was set up. But I said, give us your biography and we'll buy your biography from you. So she wrote it down. It was unbelievable. I thought it would be. So Oscar edited it in Spanish. Patrak translated it in English as best he could. I went back to the Spanish, back and forth, tried to make the English nicer. And then it went back to Oscar. He found a really good actress, very nice girl, young mother, Priscilla. And so we did an audio book out of it like that. And she really gets into it and stuff. And so it's incredible. I mean, honestly speaking, if it was dealt with properly, it can make it the same way as Slumdog Millionaire. The story, because she just happens, that happens, and she meets devotees, and then she wants to go out and this and that. She wants to distribute books. Okay, Prabhupada likes this. She goes in we're distributing in the morning. People are signing out their books. People are taking 20, 15, 35. She, my God, 35 books, 25 books. It comes to her turns, and so how many will you take, Mataji? Everyone's looking at her. She was thinking of taking 2 or something. She's 6. Very laughs. So she went. Their first experience, she went out and she could not sell them anything else. The Harinam party is going on. It's getting dark late at night, and she starts crying. Oh, Prabhupada, I want to do this for you. I can't do it. Nobody is helping me. Help me, Prabhupada. So she looks over the stoplight. There was a man in the car waiting for the light to turn green. Looked just like her father smiling at her. So she walked over and explained what she was doing. He said, well, I'll take one of your books. Here's $20. Book's worth like $1.50 or something. And she says, well, I haven't got any change. Like that. The light's turning green. He said, well, give me a couple more books. And drove away. So that's so it goes on like this. That's just the first chapter like that. And so at one point, her health was so bad, she had really problems with that, that she was like coughing up blood, and trying to win the marathon. That was her thing, win the marathon. So the other girls locked her in her room. They said, just take a little rest in your room for some time. So she got out, the door was locked. They wouldn't let her out. She's banging on the door. I have to go distribute books. She said, no way. They pushed food under the door. And after 3 days, she figured out how to climb through the window. But that's the kind of book it is, So anyway, it's a really good book. I gave a copy to Vaisheshika, and also then what I'm doing, I found a way to make a nice presentation. This is what they call a reviewer's copy. So we'll leave a copy with Srivas Pandit here to kind of circulate. And the title we chose was Every Bear Can Dance. Okay, because her name was Jambavati, like that. So every dog can join the Sankirtan movement. Every bear can dance. And in Spanish, it'll be even better. Osita ballerina, which will be even nicer. And then I figured out how to distribute it. And there it is. Okay, it's coming off. I had to use more glue. This is mini DVD. So the audio book is here, like that, the audio format, and then the printed format. And we're getting ready. We're going to try and The audio
book is in English?
In English. Now we're just finishing recording it in Spanish too. And it's not easy, editing this stuff and making it into audiobook, so on. So that's what we're doing. So we'll leave a copy with Srivas Pandit, and if anybody's interested, can make copies, like that. And we're trying to then, get it right onto Amazon and Kindle and Barnes and Noble, because the story is just, so attractive, even for us. If you're distributing some books like this, this is the world of these transcendental people who cough up blood when they go out distributing books. Okay, it's like I distribute books when I'm cold, but my God, if this, it says no more bones in the feet and everything else. What is it? What are these people doing? She saw Nityananda 2 times, and after hearing all this stuff, you go, yeah, she saw him. But it was he's passing by. She's about to die. She has no more enthusiasm. He goes by and smiles at her and nods. Okay. Here you go again. Like that. More blood. Like that. Yeah. And of course, when you're coughing up blood, people are more inclined to buy your books. They think, this is serious. Okay, I'll take it up. I'll take all your books. You promise to go home and rest. I'll buy all you got. I promise. So anyway, okay. One more question. 1, 2. Okay.
He needs the microphone.
He needs the microphone.
With all your background in psychology and spirituality.
Okay.
So the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4 says we cannot remember our previous lives.
Oh yeah,
right?
Arjuna couldn't.
Arjuna is told. However, in modern world, there is this regression therapy that is going on, which helps you recollect all your past lives.
Well, some of them, not all of them.
Yeah. And I was reading some books.
Usually you go back one lifetime.
One lifetime. I read about a person who went back to 1500 BC.
Yeah, but those sometimes too are, they're
so how to reconcile these two things, because people are getting cured with these therapies positively, which means that it does have work.
Yeah.
So how to reconcile what is Krishna saying with this?
Krishna's talking in general there, like that. I can remember all his words. You can remember none of them. Arjuna is a Kshatriya in the mode of passion. He's in a certain moment, so you can't remember them. You could also look at it that way. But there are, different experiences and stuff like that. So, sometimes it's possible. And many experiences. Actually, this whole thing about near-death experiences and regressions before was considered just for like crazy people and sentimental, stupid people. But now it's coming to the point where totally respected scientists who have interest in this are doing research, and it's more and more confirmed. There's just reincarnation is getting more and more weight as being the real way things work. But they'll go on forever. I could go on telling different stories also. But one thing was this lady, I think I told her before, right? She had an internal brain tumor. The only way you can get it out is to freeze the brain, practically speaking, and then put the blood back in. So all the blood was out of her body. She was brain dead. There was no electrical activity. They can confirm this. And she was having out-of-body experiences, which was impossible for her to have, which could be totally confirmed like that. And she went to heaven and saw her family and came back. And so this is not a product of the brain, these experiences. But now they say, well, okay, it wasn't a product of the brain, but it was a product of the quantum mechanics of the brain. So some people are never going to give up on this like that. But the actual, the most reasonable scientific information now is more starting to say that this is a very reasonable scientific area to investigate. And we'll go on. In Arjuna's time, everybody believed this. The demons, everybody else. Duryodhana had no doubt in his mind he was going to have a future life. Like that. He was thinking about that, putting that into his calculation, so on. And so I think Krishna's talking in a general sense, And usually these people who get into this, like Tibetan Buddhists and stuff like that, everybody else, it's usually until about 3 years old. And 3 years old in developmental psychology, your thing starts to develop, and you start to develop. If you already have the connection, you can maintain it. But if you haven't got it, then your present intelligence builds and just pushes these things out into the subconscious, different experiences. Yeah. But sometimes too, maybe it's not your life; it's somebody else's life. These ideas are floating around, and so you may catch up, somebody else's memories, right? Somebody else's personality, explanations. And sometimes, too, it may just be something your mind is imagining in this lifetime. Sometimes he's done that. This guy, he was a history guy. So his mind was putting together these personalities and stuff like that. But other times, no. It just, there's no way they could be imagined. They're fixed down. There's so many stories. Like that.
But then Krishna was not a German guy anyway. So.
No.
So obviously he did not mean black and white.
Sometimes Prabhupada was like that. Once we chant our Gayatri's Prabhupada, this, that. 6, 12, 6. It's like, probably sometimes, certain circumstances, Germans are good, like that. Everybody, if you want a mechanic. I was taking off Air India. We're leaving from New York. He said we got a little delay here. Some problem with the engine, and I was looking out. Air India. There's rust on the wings, like that. Looking out, and there's the mechanics working on the engine. In the back of their jackets it said Lufthansa. And I said, "Oh God, God." Yeah. No, you see what I mean, right? It said Air India in the back of the jacket. Oh my God! Oh, this guy's like, like that. But because when machines. The Germans, when it's machines, you want Germans, When it's romance, you want friends. When it's food, Italians. When it's judges, Switzerland. Espionage, British. There's nobody more cunning than British, Englishmen. The most evil people in the world. They were in World War II, there were 2 very highly placed German spies. And they were just destroying thousands of British soldiers by their information. Entire regiments would be killed. And so finally, it was revealed they were not German spies. They were British spies. And the British were sacrificing thousands of their own men to establish the credibility of these guys. And after they became totally credible, destroyed the Germans. That's how wicked. Prabhupada says the most cunning people on earth in Germany, the British, should never trust an Englishman. Yeah. Yes, I know my ancestors are German. So. Yeah. Okay, last question here. Yeah, that's it.
Maharaj, you mentioned about prana and soul are different. Can you just elaborate?
In Christian tradition.
But in our tradition?
No, in the Vedas, sometimes it talks about prana as being life, being the soul, because that's as high as people can appreciate, like that in certain, Rajarshik Puranas or something like that. Like that. But beyond prana is sound, beyond sound the mind and the soul. But the Prabhupada says that the Bible and the Quran are temporary scriptures for a certain kind of people, that they're totally bona fide, but they're for a certain people at a certain time. And these were really gross people at that time. So then spirit, is like,
like Prabhupada mentioned the life force in 8th chapter. Like That's the soul, or it's a
we'd have to look and see what it's talking about in the Sanskrit, what he's referring to. Because sometimes again, it's just talking. Sometimes he's being a lawyer, very precise. Sometimes he's giving a general explanation. He's looking at it from this angle, that angle. And so it takes 4 or 5 different looks before you got the thing, But when you got it down, then you can be very precise. You don't want to be too rigorous until you've got things, kind of like, generally worked out. So you have to understand Prabhupada's humor. But generally speaking, sometimes the Vedas talk about prana as being the soul, like that, because it's as high as people can appreciate. Yeah.
Prana can also be referred as life here.
Yeah. I said life here.
That's ground element.
Yeah. And it comes out.
10 different vayus. 5 principles, 5 sub-principles. So one of them is prana, bhayana.
Yeah. But those can be controlled by mantra. Yeah, because even the tactile energy in the body, the sound can is first result of good music is you want to dance. So, but above that is the mind, and above that is the intelligence, and above that is the soul, and above that is the super soul, Sankhya. So Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki Jai. Every bear can dance. Little brown bear. It's like that. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jai.
जयो जयो गौराचंदे आरती का शोभा की बजय जय गौराचंदे आरती का शोभा रानाविटाटवाने जगमन लोभा जानाविटाटवाने जगमन लोभा गौरांगेरारोतिक शोभा जग जान मान लोभा गौरांगेरारोतिक शोभा जग जान मान लोभा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल की बदकी ने निताय चांद बामे गदादारा की बदकी ने निताय चांद बामे गदादारा निकाटे अद्वैत श्री वास छत्रधारा ओ निकाटे अद्वैत श्री वास छत्रधारा बसी आचे गौराचान रत्ना सिंहासने की बसी आचे गौराचान रत्ना सिंहासने आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने ओ आरती करे ना ब्रह्मा आदि देवगाने बनरा हरियादी कोरी छमार डुला मारडुलाया संजया मुकुंड वासु कोश आदि गाया संजया मुकुंद वासु घोष आदि गाया शिव शंख बजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला शिव शंख बजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला माधुरा मृदंग बाजे परम रसाला माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल कि बाबा हो कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला कि बाबा हो कोटि चंद्रजीनी वदन उज्ज्वला काला देशे वानामाला कोरे झलमाला काला देशे वानामाला कोरे झलमाला शिव नारद प्रेमे गद गद शिव सुख नारद प्रेमे गद गद बाकाती विनोद देखे गौरार संपादा Bhakti vinoda deke Gaura rasampada Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Shri Gaura Hari Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hari Patita Pavana Gaura Hari Patita Pavana Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Oh Gaura 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 Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Narahari, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Narahari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti-vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jayom Vishnuvad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda ki Jai. Ganga Mai ki Yamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi की तुलसी महारानी की इंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की द्वारका धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की ISC मंथली बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की समवेत गौर भक्तविंद की निताय गौर गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladalaladayine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Srilatankan Kalaye. Yito Narsimha Varato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Narsimha Madim Sharanam Prapadye. Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanuvringam Keshavadita Sarari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare
Jaya Jagadish Hare, Jaya Jagadish Hare. तव कर कमल नाकाम अद्भुत श्रृंगार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपुर तनुभृंगाम केशवदीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश रे जय जगदीश रे जय जगदीश रे. जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव. जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद. जय जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा. जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा. राधा मदन मोहन की.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की, श्रीमन महाप्रभु की, श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की. So I would like to again thank you for coming to the Wednesday program, and thank you to His Holiness Hanumat Preshak Maharaj for giving a wonderful lecture today. Please give a big hand. Hari Hari Bo. And also thank you to Pooja and Srivasa for leading the Kirtan tonight. Please give them a big hand. Hare Krishna. One more time, Jor say Hari Bo. It looks so warm. And any other announcement today? So tomorrow Maharaj is giving a class in Stanford University at 7 p.m. The details had been sent out in an email tonight. I believe Damodar Prabhu has mentioned. So if not, wait for another email. ISB General, okay. So we'll ask him to send it to tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday, 7 p.m. And I don't know which hall it is, so it will be announced shortly. Huh? It's a village center. So anyway, we'll ask him to send into the announcement of ISB so that everybody gets it. Those who are not in the ISB general. Also, we need some volunteers to do the help in the cleaning. But I don't know who has cooked today, Prabhuji. Do you know? Is it Nityanavina Prabhu? He does. So we'd like to thank you, Nityanavina Prabhu and Yasoda Kumar. Yes. Nityanavina Mataji. Okay, I reversed it. So thank you them. Please give a big hand to them. Hare Krishna. And cleaning crew, Ramanand Sakha Prabhuji, are you still there? So anybody who wants to help in the cleaning? Balmugul? You raised hand? No. Half raised. Half help. 0.5. So you can do half raised, a little bit cleaning the floor also. Anyone? Okay, cold night, I know everybody wants to go home, but let's try. Okay, so if there is no other announcement, so we would sing the Prasadam prayer, short one. Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vaishnave, Salpa Punya Batam Rajan, Vishwasane Vajayate, Sarira Vidyajal, Jodindriya Tahe Kal, Jive Fele Vishaya Sagare, Tar Madhe Jivati, Lobhamaya Sudurmati, Tak Jeta Kathina Sansare, Krishna Bada Dayamaya, Karivare Jivajaya, Saprasadanna Dilobhai, Sehyanamrita Pao, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gunagao, Premedako Sri Chaitanya Nitai, Janimai Janitai, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Sriman Mahaprabhu Lakshmi Singh Dev Mahaprasadam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. Prasadam will be served here only.
One good news is that during Gita Jayanti, which we celebrated in Cupertino, in December, there was a crew from IND USA TV, and they covered the whole program, in which lot of ISV kids, they learned the whole chapter 12. Depending on the age, they recited 4 shlokas, 8 shlokas, 12 shlokas, and that was covered and today aired in the TV channel. And in the general, Vishaka Leela Mataji has published the link. So it's a great opportunity to see kids of ISV appearing on televisions. Like, I was so happy, like, I had never been in television, and the kids of ISV, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, they are all in televisions. So we wanted to, so I request each of you check your emails, and there are 2 more rebroadcasts of that. So in case you didn't got opportunity to check it today, please log in. The website is indtvusa.com. And if you go to the YouTube, you can also see there are other devotees who actually have given interview. like Vaisheshika Prabhu, Akrunath Prabhu, Malini Mataji, Shraddha Mataji, Shri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu, and then you can see that the interviews also. So that was very good. The kids of ISV, we all will be very proud to hear, small devotees, they coming forward and reciting 10 to 15 shlokas. So that's good. And then there is a picnic, ISV picnic, which is planned around end of the month, 26th of January. Hanspriya Mataji will be sending is busy in logistics planning, and I'll also forward the information in a week's time. And we are getting ready for a lot of festivals in February. We will be having Advait Acharya Appearance Day and Nityanand Triyodasi. And good news I wanted to share is about new temple. Anybody wants to guess what are the tentative timelines we are planning to move there? Gaur Purnima, okay. March. Rath Yatra comes in July, August. Okay, what else? First week of March. Okay, any other chances? Huh? Second week of March. Okay, so I think... Next year? Last year, Feb? Okay. So good. I have some good news. So Prabhuji, as you said, during Rath Yatra, we will be in our site much before Rath Yatra. So that's great news. Sometime around March is what we are working on. So the contractor which we engaged is actually delivering faster than what we were expecting. So if you happen to go towards Mountain View, I will strongly recommend take some precautions so that you don't get hurt there. But you can watch around. Lot of equipments are getting made, are getting installed. Basically, floors and everything is fixed. Kind of tiles came in the kitchen. The restrooms are set up, so you can start getting a feeler of how a room packed with 200 to 500 people will look like. So, and no more, people waiting outside the doors. Well, it's a good problem to have, I am sure, when we have 500, 600 devotees chanting Hare Krishna mantra on a Sunday evening. So, stay tuned on that. There's a lot of progress happening. We are looking forward for any more help, and in case some of you wants to get engaged in any service or make any donations, let us know. Okay? Thank you so much.
How is parking?
So, parking will be little better than here if we look at just what comes as is, correct? So, we have, and we are working out the options. Say, for example, there are a lot of commercial, like Sizzler is just the next door. Then there are lot of shopping centers around it. And then we are and there are street parkings also, free street parkings. That depends on chance whether there's availability and all. But we are working. That's one of the logistic planning. There's a group basically created who is in charge of how the colors of the wall should be, getting into finer details. And this will be also part of it, in which if we have to work out some deal with any of the existing neighborhood where we pay a certain thing and then get some parking spots. This all is under consideration right now. And, we'll update the group. Hopefully we'll have a better parking situation than here. Okay? Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Any safety precautions for kids?
I think there was a class held by Jagrini Mataji last Sunday. So, So what they are planning to do is they will come up with a team basically where parents will volunteer along with the teachers. So there will be a structure in place where right now, say for example, parking and all is pretty dangerous, correct? Here, kids walk around and there people are going in and out.
Kids always play outside, they play hide and seek and all. I see lots of time kids hiding under the shawls and all.
Yeah. So, to address that, like last Sunday, Jagrini Mataji had a session, And it was brainstormed that it will be a parents and ISV volunteers combination, where think of it like a PTA and teachers, correct? And the group will be formed where duties will be assigned to people to monitor the kids. So we are very concerned on the safety of the kids, and that is, we want to have a very warm, welcoming, kid-friendly place. So that's one of the consideration. I don't know whether it satisfies your question, but yeah, there is an initiative, and we are working on that. Thank you so much.